Welcome all to the Weekly Outlook. Bernie from EWPRO. Starting with the DXY on the daily, like usual, there's two scenarios. We either get a correction in here and an A, B, C, or it turns motive and breaks the top. Or this is a B, C, and then we get the A, B, C for more downside. At this stage, really only looking for sells as either a correction or comes down for the larger C. H4 still getting a little bit of bearish divergence, but we're right at this 100 pip here now. So we've got an A, B, C. Have to see if we get a reversal. There is no sell setup at this stage. You know, we do have bearish divergence, but we also have a possible bull hidden here. So, you know, if you were going to scalp, you could scalp a buy here. It may go and break the top, but just an A, B, C, and yeah, you'd have to monitor your position. But ideally, wherever this ends, I'm looking for a nice impulse down, a correction, and then looking for downside for that larger daily wave C down. AU on the daily. So I'm looking at this A, B, C. We can still get down to this 100 fib. I'm looking to buy this larger C up on the daily. So I'm only really looking for buys. Anything other than that, it's just any sells, it's just scalp. The H4, this has turned more complex. We got like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we may get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in here for a 3, 3, 5 complex correction, or it could just be 3 up in here, or it just could be the one wave as the correction before we get an A, B, C. So if you are looking to buy this, you really want a good setup, because this can be corrective for more downside. On the H1, what you'd be looking for next week is a buy. You'd be waiting for a correction in here and you get 3 down. And then if you got a buy set up, you would be looking for a buy for at least 1, 2, 3. It can turn into 5, like I mentioned, but yeah. EU on the daily. Nothing's changed on this. I'm looking for that A, B. I'm looking to trade this C up still. Like DXY, it'll either give us a correction in here and it'll tell us it's giving us a correction in here, and then we can look for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, breaking the low, or we get this C up. I'm looking to try and trade this C up at this stage. So either way, you're either buying into the correction, which you should get a break even out, or you get the C up. So on the daily, I'm only looking for buys. We have lost all the bullish divergence on this, on the H4. We're waiting for a reverse, a possible reversal, or, you know, or a larger correction. So I'm looking for buy setups. Again, you know, you have to be careful buying this. We got like a WXY, X2, and a Z down. We have a bear hidden here, so there's nothing to say that that low won't get broken. If this plays out and the bear hidden plays out, bear hidden divergence, well, and then you get a bullish setup after the bear hidden plays out, then you could look for a buy. Until that happens, you know, unless you wanted to go down onto the lower time frames and try and see if you get a correction in there, to sell to break that low. It's really only scalping. Anything selling on this pair is just scalping. GU on the daily. So we got this A, B, C. This one here, we did have the bearish divergence. This still can be some sort of a larger correction. I'm not really looking at it like that, but it still can be like an A, B, C as a running or expanding flat. Really, we got to wait and see if we get a correction in here. If we get a correction in here, well, we can look for another one down. Other than that, if we get a buy set up, you know, we could look to buy for that wave C up. We're waiting for the market to show us the direction at this stage. We did have a C down. It's turned motive now. So we got like a 1, 2, 3. I'd be looking for a wave 4 and then a wave 5 down. H1. I was looking for that last week in the room. So H1, it's very risky to buy as well because we have a bear hidden here. So this may be just a correction and then we get another one down breaking the low. For the buy, you'd really want a nice impulse up, a correction, and then look for the buy. Unless you're going down on lower time frames. On the lower time frames, you know, this may have a bull hidden in here, or it might be a sell. Yeah, it's more of a bull hidden. Like you got a bull hidden in here. So yeah, if you're trying to sell a little wave in here, you may only get 3 down before you get another one up, and then comes down, falls over for the bear hidden. And you on the daily. So this one's taken off and tried to like the others. We got that A, B. I'm looking for this C up. This is very similar to AU. Like, but didn't quite play out like AU. Like we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We didn't get the third one down, unless you're looking at that as like a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you get 5 up or 3, or it just can be this impulse. Excuse me. So very similar to AU. You'd be looking for, you know, some sort of a 3 wave. You'd be looking for a correction and one down in here to give you 3 down. And then if you got that and then a bullish setup, you definitely could look to buy for at least an A, B, C. First targeting that 100 pip, wherever that will be. GY on the daily. I've just said over the last few weeks, I would just be staying out of this because we're getting this WX extended wave Y. We're getting this WXY X2 and a Z up in the wave Y. We do have a bull hidden here, so I wouldn't be surprised if this does go up and break the top again as a flat or a complex correction. It's some sort of a larger flat to go up and break the top. is it giving us any setups yet to buy? I don't think we have any bullish divergence. Not getting a bear hidden. Yeah, see, this is more corrective as well, I believe. You know, we got impulse up, 3 down, very deep to this move here, the 3 down. And then we sort of get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in the wave 3 or wave Y, whichever you're looking at it. So I dare say we get a WX, Y, X2, and a Z up as a corrective structure, and then we get another one down. So this may not be ready to turn around just yet. UY. Nothing's changed on this. It has kept on going up a little bit. You know, the invalidation point is that top. Even if this invalidation point gets broken, it's still going to be an A, B, C, but it'll turn into, rather than a regular flat, what I'm looking for at this stage, it'll turn into a running or expanding flat if this top gets broken. So we'll still get this one down. So I'm really only looking for sells up here. I'm not looking for buys. H4, we got all that bearish divergence like last week. Here you could probably scalp it. It's very risky, but you know, we have all this bearish divergence. So eventually, you know, I'd like to see nice impulse down, a correction, and then I can look for the sell. Until that really happens, you know, you're really only scalping. I mean, this is risky here too, because I don't believe this top here got broken. So you do have a bear hidden here. So you have to be careful buying this. You got to wait for a nice little correction in there, and then if you get a setup, you could look for like an A, B, C scalp just breaking the top. Or this could fall over here with a bear hidden there. So you have to be careful if you're looking for the buy on that there. Keep that into consideration. The CAD, USD CAD. This is very complex because we got a correction in X1 and a correction in X2 of a similar size. So ideally, I am looking for, you know, these two targets to be hit, the 123.6 and the 161.8. But there is the two scenarios, like I've gone over many times. We get an A, B, C in here as an possible expanding flat, and then we get an A, B, C. Or this is the end of the move, and we get a correction, like an A, B, C, or it turns motive going up to the targets I just showed. H4, this is really difficult because we got the 5 up, we got the W, X, Y, X2, and the Z up. We had the bearish divergence last week. We're just looking for a correction. It hasn't broken the low yet, so I'm still looking at this as a flat, for possibly another one down, and we get 1, 2, 3 down after the 5 up, and then, you know, we get another motive wave Y or wave 3. It's taken off before breaking. it looks to be taking off in here before giving us the 3 down, so it becomes very risky, you know, because this can all still be a correction. As a complex correction, you get 5 up in here. I'll go down to the H1. Like we get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is impulsive. Before you go down and break the low, at this stage you can't really sell it. There's no bearish divergence. You'd be looking for a correction in here. If it gave you a correction in here, you could look to buy. And in saying that, if it gave you a sell setup, you could look to sell it as well for the flat, for the A, B, C. So yeah, it's really on the edge which way this one goes. With this sharp impulse here, I would be going with the impulse. If I've got a correction in here, you definitely could give it a go. It may not go and break the top. It may just be 1, 2, 3, though. You'd have to take that into consideration. The Swiss franc on the daily. So we got that bullish convergence, bullish divergence. I'm looking for a correction in here to buy. I'm looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, possibly going breaking the top. Well, not that top, but another top. But if we go to the monthly, we got a complex correction on the monthly. We got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or you could look at it as 5. So I'm looking for a 3, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in here before we get more downside. So I'm looking at this long term. On the daily, we got 3 down with bullish divergence. So we got that A, B, C. We got a nice impulse up. On the H4, we got a WX. We're getting an extended wave Y, and then we'll get an X2 and then a Z up. The reason I say it's extended is because on the lower time frame, we do have like a 1, 2, 3, possible wave 4, and then we get 5 up in the wave Y. So, like I said last week, I have positions in this, and I have one in here from this to get into this wave Y here. I got into a position there. Then I got into a position after this 1, 2, 3 down here. And then I got into a position here on the news into a buy. So I have 3 positions on this, trading long term. And this is important. If you want to learn how to do this, hold your positions. Like I still have that position there, I still have that position there, and I still have that position there. And I'll be holding for the wave 5 up in here. It is a long-term monthly trade. So if you want to learn how to trade instead of losing your money and scalping, by all means join the group. Next week I might show you my trades on my live platform. In here, I should have got organized and showed you today, but I didn't. So on the H1, you can see what's going on. We got like a 1, 2, 3. We'll get a 4 down in here, and then a wave 5. I'm looking for a correction a similar size to that over here. To get those 1, 2, 3, I'll be looking to add to my position in this wave 4. And this, if I get into the wave 5, you know, this one here will be a scalp. I'll scalp this wave 5 up. So after the 5 up, you get the larger correction, which could come down, and will more than likely it would take these trades out. So at this stage, it's more of a buy. I don't believe this correction's over. I'm looking for a correction a similar size to that over here. So, I mean, there is a bull hidden, so this may go up and break that top, and the bull hidden plays out from here. But I'm sort of would like to see a more complex, an A, B, C, or W, X, Y, X to a Z down, filling in the time factor over here before I look for the buy again. But there is a bull hidden there. You definitely could, if you got you know, bullish setup in here, you could look to buy. EG on the daily. This one may be over, but we're looking at an A, B, C. It still can come down to this 100 fib. We do have the bullish divergence, so really looking for upside, really only looking for upside. We identified this structure in here and we're looking for buys, you know, for that up to that 100 fib. That's played out. We now are getting a bull hidden here, so you have to be careful selling. You may get it like a B, and a C down in here, but then you'd be looking for upside again, as a like a W, X, Y, X2, and a Z up. Already getting that bull hidden, signs of that bull hidden. So yeah, you have to be quite careful. But scalping, like I said, I'd be looking for a correction in here. You could scalp that as just A, B, C, and then you could look for the buy to go and break the top. WTI, I should have removed everything off my chart here, but nothing's changed. On the daily, we got that W, X, Y, X2, Z down. Now we have this impulse. So as you can see on my H4, I should have really taken all this off. We're looking for a buy. We got 3 down in there and it went up and broke the top, but it's not what I'm going to show you. We got like a WX extended wave Y in here. I'll be looking for an X2 and then a Z up. You really have to wait for this X2 unless you're just scalping like these 3 waves, and then, you know, unless you're only scalping, it gets dangerous up the top here to scalp. We're getting all this bearish divergence now, so you know, now isn't the time to be buying. Ideally, we get this larger X2 now. The H1, so it looks like we've lost all the divergence, the bearish divergence on the H1, you know, but I'd still be looking for sells. If this gives a sharp move down, breaking that low there, well then I'll definitely be looking for a sell back to this 38.2 or even the 50 fib retracement in the wave, well, X2 or wave 4, if that's the way you look at it. So really, you can't sell it now because you have a bull hidden here, so, and you got 3 down. So if you wanted to scalp it, you'd be looking for an impulse up here on the lower time frames, and then a bullish setup to buy just to break that top. And eventually, once you get this, wherever this top ends, wherever you get this impulse down, I'd be more interested in the sells down to these targets, the 38.2 and the 50 fib targets in the wave 4. WTI, sorry, gold. I just done WTI. So this is fallen over, as you can see in here, and that's why I said the last couple of weeks I've been saying I'd just stay out of this because there's no clear direction. we got like 1, 2, 3 impulses, and then we get the correction. We are starting to get the bullish divergence in here. I am looking at this as a correction. So we get impulse, correction, impulse, impulse, correction, impulse as your flat, and then you get the A, B, C up to the weekly targets, which I've shown before, the 123.6 and the 161.8. The structure in here has turned a lot more complex. I have to look at this as an A, B, C because of price action, and then an A, B, C the way I'll have it. Then we got like 1. This may be, we got 3 down in here. This is motive. This is very much motive. Because we have like a WXY. You'd be looking for an X2 on the lower time frames, and then you'd be looking to trade the wave Z down at this stage. And then maybe turn into 1, 2, 3 as a running or expanding flat in there before you get another one down. I already have that on there. Looking for this on the H1. So we're waiting for this X2. More than likely we'll get a bear hidden in here. If you get a bear hidden divergence and then a sell setup, well, you could look to sell just to go and break that low, and then you'd be looking for a buy setup. Silver, I said the same thing about silver for the last couple of weeks. Just stay out of it. Well, I'd be just staying out of it because there's nothing clear. We got the 5 up in here. I'm looking for a larger correction for another one up. This is very the price action is very tricky because we're getting all these impulses. Like that's impulsive, that's impulsive, that's impulsive, that's impulsive. That's what I said over the last quite a few weeks. Just stay out of it. Now we are starting to get something, like this wave here. I said, we'll get a correction. Well, we did get a correction. It was over here, down here, which is fine. So we got 1, 2, tried to come down. It didn't quite break the low. Must be news or something, and we got that one down. So now we have, we'd have to look at this as the flat, A, B, C, and then we get the A, B, C. I still would be staying out of this at this stage. We're nearly breaking this low over here, so let it break the low. Let this keep on coming down, and then I'd be looking for a buy. Until you got a really nice buy set up, I'd be staying out of it. I'm more interested in the buy because we're in the correction, and the correction's been going for some time on the daily. Like you can see this correction. So I'd be waiting for a buy setup. There isn't a buy setup on it. If anything, it's a sell setup. You'd be waiting if you were going to sell or scalp. I call it scalping. You'd be looking for a correction in there and a sell. It's not something I would do at the low of the market. But if that's what you're looking to do, you could, if you got a sell set up, you could sell and then you'd be looking for the buy. Very similar to gold. Bitcoin. We got this expanding flat here. We got impulse, correction, and 5 up. in the expanding flat. Then we got the impulse down. I'm waiting for whatever correction happens in here, and then I'm looking for sell to go and sell down to this red line here. You'll get more than likely get chopped to pieces in here. So if you're trading in here, you probably just get cut to pieces. You wait for the sell. Like this played out, we got one. Well, if we look at this, we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up as a complex correction, or it may be just 3 up. So this is the sort of pattern I'd be looking at if I was you to trade this. You'd be looking for a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5 up in here, and this is an expanding. Well, it's a complex correction. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, a 3, 3, 3, or a 3, 3, 5 complex correction. And then if you got the 5 up in here and then a sell set up, then you could definitely look to sell to go and break that low. So if you were scalping this, I would be looking at this sort of a structure, 5 up in here, and then look for the sell. Or it may just turn out to be 3. If you really want to learn how to trade these, you really have to join the group. You know, I have the most comprehensive course out there that I know of. You know, the way I teach. So the H1, I mean, you're trading in a correction, so you have to be extremely careful. You'd be looking at this as some sort of correction for another one up, and you'd be just scalping really. S&P 500, this is playing out like I've been looking at. I've had this arrow on here for a very long time to come down to this. Well, it was a 38.2. It's now 100 pip on there. Well, must have the 100 pip from that. But looking at this W, X, Y, X2, and a Z up. So the H4, we still have this time factor here. Oh, I've got this. Been trading this during the week. We have the 3 down, which is fine. We're looking for this. We got that wave C up there like we're looking for. We've come straight down to this 100 fib now. It's bounced clean off that 100 fib. The problem with that I see is that this time factor in X1 and this time factor in X2, there's still a little bit of a time factor there. So this may turn into like an A, or W, X, Y, X2, and a Z down, or something else to fill in this, or it may just keep on, you know, coming down to the till we get that time factor, and then a buy setup. I'll definitely be looking for a buy. We have lost the bullish divergence in here, so you've got to be reasonable. You've got to be pretty careful, you know. And that's what happens. There was a, like I took this myself, like this A, B. I took this C up, hit the 100 pip. Now we have a bear hidden. So you've got to be extremely, we've got some sort of a W, X, Y, X2, we'll get a Z down, and then if you get the buy set up, you know, I'll be looking for a buy again. Not really interested in this sell, you know. I'll leave the crumbs for someone else, you know, in this little wave 5 in here. But yeah, that's what I'll be looking for. AU200, nothing's changed for a very long time. This has become very complex. Like I've said, we've got that 1, 2, 3 up in here, and then looking at 1, 2, 3 for the flat. Well, for a regular flat down to this, could get down to this 100 pip, and then I'm looking for the larger A, looking for that larger C up. So we had like 1, 2, 3. I said when we're over here, you have to wait for that to break, or else we get the bear hidden and it comes down and breaks the low, and that's what it's done. This is still. I'll have a look at the last few legs. It's still rather bearish. You got to be careful because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get a 5 down. So if you are looking to buy this, you're more than likely buying into a correction. Ideally, I'd be waiting for the 5 down. Then if I got the bullish setup, I'd be looking for the buy. More interested in the buy, even though this hasn't complete. You know, we got 3 up in here and then 1 down. I'd really like that to go and break that low, but it hasn't yet. So if that break, as soon as that low there is broken, any buy setup you get, look for it to for that C up. The FTSE, so I'm looking for that like A, B, C, A, B, C, and then we got that A, B, and we're looking for this C up still. I'm looking for it to get up to this 100 fib. It still hasn't given us that C up. It's trying to, but it just hasn't yet. I mean, this is looking still rather. I mean, we've been looking for these buys in here, but it's still very much bullish. You may get another one down in here for a wave 5, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we have a bull hidden here, so any buy setup you get, I would be looking for a buy. We have that bull hidden here, so go down to the H1, maybe. Yeah, see, we got like a 1, 2, 3, and now we're getting a wave 4, so we get a wave 5. We got a bear hidden in here, so you have to wait for this to play out. So this is more like a complex correction. We got a flat in here for an A, B, C, and then we get 1 down. We get an A, B, C. Sorry. You get some sort of an A, B, C in here, and then you get A, W, X, Y, X2, and a Z down as a complex correction. So I would be waiting for this to, or you could even like scalp this. Yeah, I mean, it's not something I'd do, but if you're a scalper, you could look to scalp that to go and break the low, and then you'd be looking for the buy. DXY, sorry, the DAX. This is very slow at the top. It has started to give us a move down. We've been waiting for this for a very long time. This A, B, C expanding flat. It hasn't been ideal, this pair, but it is starting to go. We're getting bullish divergence. Like, this is such a shame that we are, because I'm really looking for a larger move down. We got like an A, B, C at this stage. We've got bullish divergence there by the look of it. Really would have liked this to turn motive, to give us something to, because it's still up the top here. If you're just looking at 1, 2, 3, well, fine, yeah, we get another one up. I'd really like to see this like A, B, and a C. I'd like to see that larger C down. I mean, you do have 3 down, so you can buy it, but I would be very cautious buying. On the H1, there's nothing. You know, you're looking for a bear hidden. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a bear hidden here. So, you know, I wouldn't be buying just at this stage anyway. If you're looking for the buy, you'd want to wait for this bear hidden to play out and then look for the buy. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the weekly outlook. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.